for disseminating to our farmers. So basically we conduct periodical knowledge sessions using KSA Connect with our farmers directly from this same place. So we are trying to connect our farmers, but there is it appears to be some internet problem is there at their end, which usually happens in villages. So for time being, before that one, I request Dr. Sameerkumar and Dr. Ravinder Reddy to give briefing of our work at Adaka. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. And basically, PGNP is one of our mandate crop. And just I want to give you the brief introduction about the crop and how we intervened with the farmers in Adakul area and how we are going to proceed with the improved integrated crop management technologies. And basically, we know that in our country for the last 5 to 6 decades, we could achieve the increase in the food grains production by 6-folds. And this is mainly because of the research, and of course, extension played a major role in that. And still, there is a need for adoption of improved crop management technologies by the farming community, particularly in small and marginal farmers of the country. And in this direction, there are a number of tools in technology transfer, that is starting from newspapers, conducting the training programs by the KVKs and other extension agencies, and radio channels. Like this, every number of events are there for the transfer of technology. And in this regard, ICT, because of the improvement of technology, ICT plays a greater role in this, and we are moving ahead by using different ICT tools with KSI of our institute. This I want to tell you briefly about the importance of PGNP. It is grown in 5 million hectares, that is 50 lakh hectares in the world, and India accounts for 80% of it, that is nearly 40 lakh hectares, and followed by Eastern Southern Africa, that is the countries in Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Malawi and Mozambique. Here the PGNP is grown nearly in 10 lakh hectares. And by the introduction of varieties by the ICRISAT in those areas, for the last decade, the area in Eastern Southern Africa has increased from 1.5 lakh hectares in the year 2000 to nearly 10 lakh hectares, that is 1 million hectares by this period. So apart from India, in Asia, Myanmar accounts for 5 lakh to 6 lakh hectares of PGNP cultivation, and of course the Myanmar exports the entire PGNP which it produces to India. They will not consume not even a single grain of PGNP, and they do not have even the dal processing mills also. We import the whole grain from Myanmar. And from Africa, they consume PGNP not for dal purpose. They cook with maize, or they cook with meat, and they cook with the other products, and they prefer the bowl cereal type, which is shown in the diagram. And the number of companies, particularly from India, have established processing plants, and we are importing dal from Eastern and Southern Africa, that is Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, Malawi and Mozambique. And apart from that, it is minorly cultivated in Central American Caribbean Islands, around 50,000 hectares. There mainly it is consumed as a vegetable and grown in the barns or in the kitchen gardens. So this is the in brief about the global scenario. A number of factors influence the PGNP production in the world, and particularly we see India accounts for 80% of its area and production, but the productivity, that is yield per hectare, is very low in India. A number of factors contribute for this. I will not explain all those. A number of factors contribute for this, but still what I feel is the extent of adoption of improved crop management technologies plays a greater role. And apart from all these factors, that is non-adoption of package of practices is a major one, which is limiting the extracting the available inherent potentiality. For example, in our experiments or in our demonstrations, we touched the yield of 3 to 5 tons. Even under innovative interventions like transplanting technology, in the farmers' fields, we are now realizing around 3 to 4 tons per hectare. But in the farmers' fields, overall productivity is very low. And if you see particularly in India, Maharashtra accounts for 11 lakh hectares, followed by Karnataka 7 lakh hectares, and followed by Andhra Pradesh nearly 6 lakh hectares. But the productivity, if you see in the states like Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh, is very low, and particularly in the district where Mahbub Nagar in Telangana state of India, here the crop is grown in nearly more than 1 lakh hectares. But if you see the productivity is very low, and in this particular context, we are trying to intervene through ICT technologies for enhancing the productivity. So these are the major, I want to focus only on what are the improved crop management technologies in this particular crop and where the farmers are not adopting those technologies. For example, if you see the sowing and plant population, we recommend 3 kgs per acre, but the farmers sow 5 to 6 kgs per acre. That itself is an adoption of package of practices. And between plants, we recommend 30 centimeters, that is 1 feet. In light soils and heavy soils, it requires 1.5 feet. But farmers usually go for sowings like this, where we are realizing very less yields. You can see this type of sowing usually if you can see in the farmers' fields, and that is leading to a lot of consequences like evolving of new diseases which are minor till now, like alternaria and sarcospora last 2 to 3 years, now becoming major. So, and there are innovative interventions like space planting and square planting, by adoption of which the productivity can be enhanced. And next one is time of sowing. And though we know the Kharif commences by June or July, depending on the number of factors influence for the commencement of Kharif, like erratic distribution of rainfall or initiation of monsoon, all these factors play a greater role. But basically, we recommend to grow the crop in light soils during June and heavy soils during the month of July. If there is any excessive vegetative growth in heavy soils particularly, there should be the recommendation of nipping. This is the important factor for realizing the high yields. And there are a number of questions by the Department of Agriculture or other extension agencies regarding growing of pigeon pea in off season. We can recommend pigeon pea in off season, provided the soil is heavy or there are chances of getting northeast monsoon or some other areas where there will be sufficient moisture on the soil under rain-fed conditions. We can recommend for rabi sowings, but it is desirable to recommend the rabi sowing if there is 1 or 2 irrigation facility. So that is the crucial factor here. And for rabi red gram, because at present the rate in the market for the pigeon pea is around 35 rupees to 45 rupees per kg of the grain which is harvested by the farmer. But we can recommend rabi red gram under 3 to 4 irrigations in heavy soils and 4 to 6 irrigations in light soils. But the factor is net income plays a greater role here. Unless and otherwise, the rate per kg is around 60 rupees. We cannot recommend rabi red gram because with the same amount of irrigation, so the same quantum of irrigation, other crops like maize or sunflower or sorghum or even vegetables are remunerative compared to the pigeon pea. That's why you cannot recommend rabi red gram as per the market rates now. So this is a peculiar crop. If you see this type of agronomic dwarfing in the crops, you cannot see in other crops. It is a photosensitive crop and there will be a lot of agronomic dwarfing. If you see a given variety, if you sow in the month of June or if you sow in the month of September, if you sow in the month of October, it behaves differently and there will be a lot of agronomic dwarfing, and based on this we have to adjust the plant population, and that's why we cannot recommend rabi red gram under rabi conditions because the cultivation is not remunerative. So there are a number of choice of varieties and we should stick on to the recommendation of these varieties. Steve, even the state like Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, even Karnataka, light chalka soils or red sandy soils, the farmers are being given by the varieties like LRG 41 or LRG 30 or Asha, which are long duration types, which are not suitable to those type of soils. So there are a number of choice of varieties are available in this particular crop, and we have to go as per the recommendation of the respective varieties in different soils. And apart from that, there should be focus on the diseases, particularly wilt is highly endemic in Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh and even Maharashtra, and SMD is also sporadic, and there should be choice of varieties which are resistant for that. For example, LRG 41 is a very good variety, but it is highly susceptible for wilt and SMD. So we cannot recommend to the areas where there is endemic problem of wilt such type of varieties. And apart from that, recently we have evolved a new technology, that is super early genotypes in this particular crop. And see, I was mentioning about agronomic dwarfing, but in this particular super early varieties, these are completely day neutral and photo insensitive, and they can be grown any part of the year, and under high density population, they are yielding around 1 to 1.5 tons per hectare in the experiments, and in the farmers' fields we tried, and they are yielding around 3 to 4 quintals per acre. So there may be chance for expansion of pigeon pea area horizontally by using these super early genotypes. Maybe in due course we will be multiplying the seed, and we will be giving for testing suitability of these particular varieties in farming situations. Yeah, it is available now, and a limited scale we can provide you. Yeah, it is 80 to 100 days. In any part of the year. Any part of the year the duration is 80 to 100 days. No, there will not be any variation provided you follow the package of practices like pest control is a crucial in this. Rabi yield is very less. Because I explained to you about the agronomic dwarfing. That's why if you grow a medium duration variety of 180 days or 160 days, if you grow in Rabi, that will be not more than 120 days or 130 days. That's why there will be naturally less yield. Suman, ready now? Yeah, this is also one of the factors which is neglected. Of course, I was mentioning that red gram is a neglected crop and without any proper management. And there are situations where it is exposed for drought, and we can recover the crop under drought situations to extent of 50% by following the urea spraying or multi-K application at least once or twice by the interval of 1 week or 10 days. So we can go for urea recommendation in drought situations, and we should avoid excess plant population. That is, we should stick on to the recommended sowing methods. And regarding the flowering, it is a neglected crop, and there are a number of approaches to enhance flowering also, because it is a perinaceous crop and it produces huge amount of flowers and huge amount of source will be there, and the extent of source which is diverted to the sink plays a greater role in this. And if you can manage the flower by avoiding the flower drop during stresses or other factors, then you can enhance the yield at least by 1 to 2 quintals per acre. So there are different growth regulators like Cytofex and Chamatkar which are practically tested and they are proven. And yeah, regarding the pest management, this plays a crucial role because for the last 10 to 15 years, because of the introduction of BT cotton, now there is very less incidence of helicoverpa, and the larval load of helicoverpa has gone down drastically, and helicoverpa is not at all a problem. But new pests like maruca is picking up, and if the farmer is unable, it's a nocturnal pest, and if the farmer is unable to trace out maruca, the crop will be damaged devastatingly by the pest within a span of 7 to 10 days. But luckily the advantage is now we have a number of third generation chemicals like tracer and so many chemicals which are having quick knockdown effect on this particular pest, and by using timely application of the pesticides we can enhance the yields in this particular crop. Yeah, this slide I want to show you more for researchers because all of you are from the research institutes. I want to show you the strengths in this particular crop. You see, it's a crop with a tremendous amount of variability. You cannot find such a type of variability in any other crops, and for the builders or for the researchers, the variability is a must for exploitation. See, we have 13,730 germplasm lines preserved at ICRISAT, and you can see the amount of variability in this particular figure. The days to flower ranges from 55 to 210, and days to maturity from 97 days to 260 days, and the plant height ranges from 39 centimeters to 365 centimeters, and number of primaries 3 to 66, and number of secondaries 1 to 145, and number of flower clusters per plant ranges from 6 to 915, and number of parts per plant is 50 to 1200, and number of seeds per pod is 2 to 22. So this is the tremendous amount of variability which is a boon for the researchers, and we do have 13,700 germplasm lines, and you can access the characteristics of these particular germplasm lines or improved lines which are available at ICRISAT in the website, and you can you can request for indent, and just by signing a simply one SMTA we will spare this material to anybody in the world. And apart from that, we are preserving the wild species, 33 wild species from the primary, secondary and quaternary gene pools, and in 33 wild species we have 355 accessions and which can be shared, which are ready for sharing to the national partners. And just I want to show you this particular slide because genetic enhancement in this particular crop is not proper. If you see the 120 released varieties will fall to a group like this through a D-square analysis or molecular diversity analysis. And if you see the available 13,730 germplasm lines, they will cluster like this, and the wild species 355 accessions, they will cluster like this. This molecular diversity graph shows that the exploitation is not proper in this particular crop, and still there is a lot of potential from the wild relatives and from the germplasm accessions for the exploitation variability and improvement in the improvement in the varieties development for the respective agroecologies of the world. And apart from this, I want to tell you one more thing. Just like in sunflower, palm millet, maize, castor, we know that the hybrids, and even in Bt cotton also, the hybrids are responsible for increasing the yield. And we, first time in the world, has developed the genetic male sterility based hybrid technology, and we could release one hybrid ICPH8 in the 1991. But owing to inherent seed production problems from the genetic male sterility based hybrids, we later on developed the CGMS technology, that is cytoplasmic and genetic male sterility technology, which is available in all the crops like maize, sunflower, pearl millet, sorghum. And we could release, now we have developed a number of hybrids, and these hybrids are performing exceedingly well. And we are in the process of developing hybrids for light soils or different agroecologies of the country through the different state agriculture universities and national partners. And there is a scope for expanding these hybrids by the cultivation by the poor farmers and enhancing the yield, provided under certain input managements. We are trying, even in Addakola hub also, we have introduced this hybrid because the hybrid presently we are cultivating is of 160 to 180 days duration, and we want to intervene this particular hybrid technology by the farmers in Addakola area under irrigation. And in the Addakola area, we could identify two agroecologies, one is light soils, another one is the heavy soils. Okay. So we can spare the parental lines and the hybrid material for testing through your different KVKs, and this will be a big chance for the for you to spread the technology in PGNP through introduction of hybrids.
Vijay, అందరూ వచ్చారా? నమస్తే నానందమ్మ గారు. నమస్తే అండి. ఇప్పుడు మనకి పిజిఎన్పి గ్రూప్ సైంటిస్టులు ఎక్స్పర్ట్స్ ఉన్నారు, కందికి సంబంధించిన సైంటిస్టులు ఉన్నారు, డాక్టర్ సమీర్ కుమార్ గారు, డాక్టర్ రవీందర్ రెడ్డి గారు. మీకున్న అనుమానాలు సందేహాలు నివృత్తి చేసుకోగలరు వాళ్ళతో. ఒక నిమిషం మాట్లాడండి, సమీర్ కుమార్ గారితో మాట్లాడండి. సమీర్ గారు.
నర్మదమ్మ గారు, నర్మదమ్మ గారు బాగున్నారమ్మా? కంది పంట వేసి ఎన్ని రోజులు అయింది ఇప్పుడు మీరు? కంది పంట వేసి ఎన్ని రోజులైంది? ఆ 40 రోజులైందా? ఇప్పుడైతే మీకు పురుగంది ఏమి రాదు. పురుగంది ఇప్పుడైతే వచ్చే సమస్య ఏం లేదు. 20 రోజుల తర్వాత మీకు పురుగు వచ్చే ఆస్కారం ఉంటుంది. అది కొంచెం జాగ్రత్తగా గమనించి చెప్తే ఆ పురుగులు కానీ లేకపోతే ఈ తెగులు కానీ ఏమైనా వచ్చినట్లయితే అదే ఇప్పుడు మీరు చేయాల్సింది ఏంటంటే, మొన్నటి వరకు వర్షాలు పడి మీకు గ్రోత్ అంతా సరిగా ఉండదు. మీరు అంతర్సేద్యం చేసుకోవాలి. ఒకసారి అంతర్సేద్యం చేసి సాళ్ళలో కలుపు బాగా ఉంటుంది, ఆ కలుపు ఒకసారి తీసేసుకుంటే మీకు ముందు పంట బాగా వచ్చి రెబ్బలు బారి ఎక్కువ పూత వచ్చి మీకు దిగుబడులు ఎక్కువ వచ్చేదానికి అవకాశం ఉంటుంది. మీ వాయిస్ బాగా వినపడుతుంది మాకు. చెప్పండి పర్వతాలు గారు. అదే ఇప్పుడు బాగానే ఉంటుంది, కాకపోతే మొన్న వర్షాలు ఎరిపించాయి కదా, మీరు అంతర్సేద్యం చేసుకొని ఒకసారి సారాలు కలుపు తీసుకుంటే ముందు బాగుంటుంది ఇంకా. సరేనా? అది చిన్న చిన్న పురుగులు వచ్చేసి ఆకులు ముడత రావడము లేకపోతే బుర్రలు పడడం జరుగుతుంటుంది. దానివల్ల పంట కలిగే నష్టమే ఉండదు. దాని గురించి మీరు పట్టించుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం అయితే ఏం లేదు. కాకపోతే ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఇమ్మీడియట్గా చేయాల్సింది ఏంటంటే అంతర్సేద్యం ఒకటి చేసుకొని సాలలో కలుపు తీసుకుంటే పంట బాగా రెబ్బలు వారి మీకు ఇంకా 20 రోజులు 30 రోజుల తర్వాత పూతకు వచ్చేదానికి అవకాశం ఉంటుంది, 1 నెల తర్వాత. అప్పుడు మీరు జాగ్రత్తగా గమనించుకొని ఈ చిలకల్లో వేసిన రకం అయితే తొందరగా వస్తుంది పూతకి. కొందరు రైతు సోదరులు అదే ఇప్పుడు హైబ్రిడ్ వేసిన వాళ్ళు నీళ్ళ కింద వేశారు. హైబ్రిడ్ కొందరు వేశారు నల్ల భూముల్లో. ఎర్ర భూములు అయితే తొందరగా పూతకు వస్తుంది. అప్పుడు పురుగులు జాగ్రత్తగా గమనించుకోండి. ఇప్పుడైతే పురుగుల గురించి ఇబ్బంది పడాల్సిన అవసరం అయితే ఏముండదు. సరేనా?
ఓకే నర్మదం గారు, థ్యాంక్ యూ అండి. ఓకే అండి, మంచిదండి విజయ్. ఓకే విజయ్, ఓకే అండి, థ్యాంక్ యూ, మంచిదండి.
ఎన్ని క్వశ్చన్స్ ఏమన్నా? Yeah, Dilip, if you permit me, I will take only 5 minutes for completion of my lecture. Yeah. Because there was some problem in the connectivity, that's why I made some stopgap arrangement. Yeah, I was talking about the hybrids. This is the new innovative intervention which you can spread for the increasing the productivity in PGNP, particularly in Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Yeah, basically the issue required for hybrid seed production is the cultivation of hybrids is the quantity of hybrid you produce, and for this we with the national partners could establish and stabilize the seed production technology and standards, and we worked on so many aspects of hybrid seed production because this is the main crux and main hub of hybrid technology expansion. And in this we tried so many aspects of seed technology like identifying the niches and keeping the honeybee units, but because basically this is a cross-pollinated crop and which is pollinated by the honeybees, not by wind. For example, if you see in case of castor hybrid seed production or rice hybrid seed production or sorghum hybrid seed production, that is pollinated by wind, and but this particular crop is pollinated by insects, particularly honeybee, just like in sunflower and safflower. And we could identify the installation of honeybee units as well as staggering technology, row ratios, and of course we could influence the government of Andhra Pradesh for fixing the procurement price of 100 rupees per kg of the hybrid seed produced. So that will give that will fetch a lot of net income to the farmers. A number of farmers are coming for hybrid seed production by the state seed development corporations, and in fact we can extend our technology by means of training the seed production agencies or scientific community or the progressive farmers with relate to the hybrid seed technology, and that will be a starting point for the production of hybrids. And still in this particular hybrid technology, like fixing the standard, as well as we are on a mission of expanding the hybrid cultivation in nearly 150,000 hectares by the end of 2015. And this year we could produce 657 tons of hybrid seed, and basically in hybrid red gram the recommended seed rate per kg is only 2 kgs. In traditional varieties we are recommending 4 kgs, 3 to 4 kgs, but farmers are using 6 kgs. That is one of the main production constraint. But for hybrid we are recommending only 2 kgs, and it reduces the cost of incurring the expenditure on seed, and we can train you in this particular aspect. You can see some of the seed set in hybrid seed production plots. Of course, these are the hybrid plots in Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Telangana, and even the Praveen, the KVK coordinator, is popularizing our hybrids for the last 3 to 4 years, and there is a lot of advantage with the cultivation of hybrids by the rainfed farmers. Yeah, apart from that, this is my last slide. In fact, we are doing number of researchable issues and for the benefit of the researchers as well as farming community. And just I want to tell you only one or two issues regarding the hybrid. The purity assessment plays a greater role because any private sector or state seed developmental corporations, they require grower test for the for pushing the hybrid for the cultivation. So in pigeon pea, in red gram, the grower test is cumbersome owing to the long duration crop, and we have developed the molecular markers, the hybrid purity assessment kit, by using which you can ascertain the purity of the particular hybrid in a span of 2 to 3 weeks, and thereby the GOT is felicitated in this particular crop. A number of private companies are now owning this technology for the spreading of hybrids through their respective seed production programs. And apart from that, this is a cross-pollinated crop, and of course by the development of Clisto lines, we are trying to convert the lines as a self-pollinated crop once, and we can provide you the donors for the respective universities for the development of varieties which are 100% self-pollinated, just like in rice, green gram, black gram or sesamum, and we have developed Clisto lines. And apart from that, the BT red gram, it's a big question, but we are ready with BT red gram, and owing to the number of policy issues which are prevailing in the countries. For example, now it is not allowed to test the food crops, but we are ready with the BT technology in red gram, just like BT cotton. And these are different approaches, and here we are in fact first one in the world to have the genome sequence of red gram, and by using this genome sequence information, and we are trying to develop different products like nested association mapping or multi-parent advanced generation intercrosses for the development of superior lines and for the development of new varieties and hybrids which will be useful, which will be useful in breaking the productivity barrier of 700 to 800 kgs, which is presently prevailing now. And with this, I thank, and particularly I thank Dilip and all the KSI team for giving me this opportunity. And I will take one or two questions if you have any.
Sir, have you assessed the nutritional demand for this hybrid with reference to the variety? How much it demands more?
I'm not getting your question.
NPK.
Yeah. See, basically, it's a crop with enriched with nutrients. See, for example, it fixes 40 kgs of nitrogen, and it adds 0.1 to 0.2% of organic matter every year through fallen leaves. And apart from this, that it produces specific acid, which is, say, for example, the phosphorus is an immeasurable element in the soil, and it fixes all the micro elements like calcium, iron. For example, calcium, when it is mixed with phosphorus, it will become calcium phosphate, which is unavailable to the plant. But pigeon pea produces specific acid which dissolves that particular phosphorus. That's why it is beneficial to the plant. But the thing is, we recommend only 1 kg DAP per acre as on today. The same recommendation holds good for hybrids also. But having said that, hybrids will have huge biomass. For example, the sink capacity is also very in hybrids. Varieties produces say 600 to 800 flower clusters, but hybrid produces double to that. And if you can supplement with urea, top dressing, foliar application of urea, whatever it may be, it will definitely boost in the yield. But that particular aspect, we did some experiments, and apart from the recommended RDF, recommended dose of fertilizers, if you go for 50% extra, even 100% extra, you will have yield enhancement. But only the thing you have to check is whether you can recommend it to the rain-fed farmers, and of course you can recommend it to the irrigated farmers. But for rain-fed farmers, we cannot recommend that.
Nutrition balance study should be there. How much of nutrient is being taken away by the crop?
Yeah.
How much is to be supplemented to maintain the yield? So that the sort of study to maintain the soil health. That sort of study is made.
Okay. Recently in IIPR agronomy evaluation trials, they have formulated this because this is a new technology. So during this year and during 13, they did some experiments. During this year, they have streamlined and they are going for studies related to agronomy as per your question. Yeah. Yeah, it requires basically upon your duration. We have short staged ones in 140 duration and 120 duration and 100 days duration. So you can test, we can provide you some seed by next year, not now, because we are multiplying them now. By next Kharif, you can give the seed and you can test on some on-farm pilot basis studies and they can go for recommendations. Yeah, definitely. The inter-row spacing should be not more than 45 centimeters. But traditionally we recommend 5 feet or 6 feet. But for super early 45 centimeters in light soil and heavy soil 60 centimeters.
Black gram and groundnut, keeping its character as an initial slow growth for about 60 to 75 days. But as of your study, hybrid red gram is of initially good and high growth. So will it be fitting in that condition to the main? Is there any effect for the main crop in the geometry
Yeah.
and all? And the second question is, red gram is again having a 20 about over 20% cross pollination properties. So in that case, you preserve the seed for the farmer for his own next season. It's a common thing in red common areas. So will it be not heterogeneity in the seed,
Yeah.
variability in the seed?
Yeah, but I will answer your second question first. In any hybrid, in any crop, say for example BT cotton or hybrid rice or hybrid sunflower, hybrid bajra or hybrid sorghum, you are not supposed to use the seed for the second season.
I am telling for this.
No, even you should not encourage the farmers also, because there will be inbreeding depression, there will be deterioration in the yield, and you are not supposed to advise that for any hybrid in any crop.
Not hybrids. I am speaking about local varieties. For local varieties.
Sure. Local varieties, see, now we are talking of seed replacement ratio. See, now even today also that is the big extension crop, because for the lack of proper seed system by the government agencies, because this is a particular crop where there is no intervention by the private sector and there is no commercial perspective, or there are no policy decisions by the intervention by the private sector. But the thing is, government sector is now playing a role through NFSM or accelerated pulse production programs or some other programs like RKVV schemes and NFSF schemes for the supply of improved variety seeds of pulses. So because of that particular factor, now the extent of adoption of improved varieties in red gram or other pulses has reached up to 30 to 40%. Still farmers are going for using their own seed. There is no harm in going for own seed, provided if you take some certain precautions, like going for some selected plants from his own fields and avoid contamination in threshing floors or while storing and bagging, like that. No, as a matter of fact, retuning is not recommended in this particular crop. It is not remunerative, because the crop will be completed by January or February. If you want for retune, if you want to go for retune, you have to wait up to next October for the initiation of flowering. And during entire January, February, March, April, May, June, you have to provide the irrigation, which is not at all economical and not remunerative. So retuning we are not recommending.
Thank you, Dr. CV Sameerkumar and Dr. Ch Ravinder Reddy for their informative session. I request Dr. Dilip Kumar to take over for the next session.
Would you like to add anything, sir? Your experiences or something before? It has joined together. We have time, that's okay. Can you say something, your experiences?
Yeah.
Just for 2 minutes.
I'm Ravinder Reddy, as a project coordinator for a OCP project funded by Morocco. We are working in Mahbubnagar and Karnataka, Raichur area, and Gulbarga also. Our experience is growing hybrid pigeon pea.
ICT experience. With the
Yeah.
interactions with the farmers.
Yeah, I think I'll link that. So there we have taken around 300 trials in Mahbubnagar district. We have given a spacing of 6 feet by 1.5 to 2 feet, depending upon the soil type. Usually the plant population is around 30,000 plants per acre. and here the plant population is around 6,000 plants. And what we have seen is either with a variety or hybrid, the yield is around 20 to 22% more than the farmer's practice. So this is one thing we are recommending now in Mahbubnagar district. Now 600 acres is under the same spacing, around 5 feet by 1.5 feet. I hope this is one of the agronomical thing, a small intervention can boost the yield. That's what we have seen, and recently we would like to put up this with the Adakal area, and the farmers of Adakal can also, we are trying to link up Adakal farmers with the Tandur area farmers, and through other means of ICT communications. So this is the first year. I think I just joined Dilip's group, and we would like to use all ICT tools in this regard and spread the message as quickly, as early, and as many as farmers with the knowledge sharing mechanisms, right? So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ravinder Reddy, and thank you, Dr. Sameer. Sumant, would you like to add anything?